All right, so let's dive into something that seems to be like everywhere these days,
Yeah.
artificial intelligence, AI,
hmm
especially in higher ed. It's the hot topic. But we want to go deeper today. Like, how could AI actually impact your work on campus? I mean, regardless if you're faculty, support staff, professional staff, anyone listening, really.
It's true. AI is moving crazy fast, and I think what's fascinating is it's not just about AI doing like human tasks for us. It's more like AI could actually change, the nature of work itself.
I mean, that's what's got people a little on edge, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what about jobs? I
Right.
mean, it's easy to imagine like robots taking over,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure. But I think the reality is it's way more nuanced than that. I mean, think about it. We've always had technology that's changed how we work. It's part of how we evolve.
Right.
And AI is definitely powerful, like no question. But the key is understanding how to like work with it. You know what I mean? With human skills, not just be replaced by it.
So instead of like AI versus humans, it's more like AI and humans working together.
Exactly. Exactly. Like take this idea of the Turing trap,
Okay.
which basically says like we can get so focused on AI, being just like a human brain,
Right.
that we miss out on what it could really do. Like,
Yeah.
what if instead of trying to, replicate us perfectly, what if AI could help us see like patterns in data that we would totally miss, or like do all those little tasks that frankly keep us from the really important stuff?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So it's like instead of worrying about losing your job to AI, you could actually use it to make your job, I don't know, just better.
Exactly. That's the idea. And that's where the union comes in, right? It's not about being like totally anti-AI. It's about making sure that it's used ethically, responsibly in a way that actually benefits the people in higher ed and the students we serve.
Got it. So it's about having like a voice in how AI is actually implemented,
Yeah.
like not just letting it, I don't know, happen to us.
Exactly. It's about, being at the table. And this is where shared governance is so huge.
Right.
Faculty and staff, they should have a say in how AI is used on their campus because they're the ones who really get the needs, right, of their institutions and students.
Okay, so shared governance, that's one way to make sure things don't, I don't know, go off the rails. But what about the like bigger picture?
hmm
Are there like actual laws being passed or, anything to like actually protect people's jobs?
Yeah, and this is where things get really interesting. So the union is actually working on a few different things. Like they're pushing for laws that would guarantee human oversight in like key areas.
Oh, okay.
So, for example, no more like AI only grading systems or things like job protection and retraining programs for those whose roles might be impacted by AI.
Wow, that's reassuring, actually. So it's not just, talk.
Right.
There's like actual action happening at both the like campus level and government level.
Exactly, exactly. And it even goes beyond just like protecting jobs. Like the union's also fighting to make sure that AI is used in ways that, actually benefit everyone. And think about how it could be used to personalize, learning experiences for students or help faculty with research in ways we haven't even thought of yet.
Okay, so this is where it starts to feel a little less like doom and gloom and a little more, I don't know, hopeful. Like, what if AI could actually help us like educate better
Yeah.
or reach more students? I mean, that'd be pretty amazing, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. But again, it comes back to being really intentional about how we use it.
Right.
And this is where the role of chapter chairs, like on each campus, becomes really, really important.
Good, let's talk about that. Like, what can chapter chairs actually do?
Yeah.
Like on the ground to make sure AI is actually like helping education, not, making it worse.
Yeah. So chapter chairs, they're really like at the forefront of all this. They're the ones talking to college presidents, making sure that policies are in place to protect jobs, but also, pushing for ways to use AI that actually could benefit everybody.
So they're like the, I don't know, the bridge between like the big union efforts and what's actually happening on each campus.
Yeah, exactly. They've got all the talking points and the arguments that the unions put together, but they can also, tailor their approach, to their specific colleagues, right?
Right.
Whether it's faculty worried about academic freedom or, support staff dealing with workload changes, or even like professional staff having to figure out all these new administrative tools.
Right. Yeah. It makes it like it's one thing to have these big ideas about AI and education, but it's a whole other thing to make sure it actually works for the people, doing
Yeah.
the actual work.
Exactly, exactly. And chapter chairs can really help with that conversation. Like they can point out the need for training, or professional development, so people feel more comfortable with all this new tech. They
Right.
can, advocate for everyone having access to AI tools. So it's not just like certain departments or roles that benefit.
Okay, so chapter chairs, they're playing a big role in all this. But what about, like, everyone else? What can faculty, support staff, professional staff, like, what can they do to kind of prepare for this AI future?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the most important thing is, like, don't just ignore it. You know what I mean? Like, AI it's here. It's going to affect everything in higher ed,
Yeah.
from teaching and research all the way to, admin and student services. So first step is to, like, get informed.
Okay, when you say get informed, do you mean, like, we all need to go learn how to code or something?
No, 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 not necessarily. It's more like understanding the basics of AI. Like, what is it? How does it even work? What can it do? What can't it do? And there's a ton of resources out there. You've got articles, videos, podcasts, webinars, like everything.
Right.
Even your union has workshops and trainings, specifically for higher ed folks.
Okay, so knowledge is power, right?
Right, right.
But what about the actual skills? Like, what do people need to, actually do well in this AI world?
That's a great question. And honestly, it's not just about like knowing how to use certain AI programs. It's about developing the skills that humans are really good at, the things that'll be even more important as AI takes over the more routine stuff.
Okay, like what? Give me an example.
Like critical thinking,
Yeah.
problem solving, creativity, communication, collaboration. These are the things that machines, like, they're not good at that.
Yeah.
And those skills are going to be so important in any field, really, but especially in education.
It's funny, you're not just talking about, like, tech skills. It's almost like AI is pushing us to be more like human in our work.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Like, AI can crunch the numbers, do all the repetitive stuff, but it's the human part, the empathy, the ingenuity, the ability to, like, connect with other people.
Yeah.
That's what's really going to make a difference in education.
And those are the skills that, like, educators and professionals, they already have those, right?
Yeah.
So it's about, like, I don't know, sharpening them, adapting them to this new world.
Exactly, exactly. And the union can help with that too. Like, they offer professional development programs, workshops, even just opportunities to connect with other people.
Right.
So you can stay, ahead of the game.
Okay, so it sounds like there's a lot of support out there, both from the union and from, like, our own institutions. But it also means we got to be, proactive. Like, we have to, like, own our own learning and development.
Absolutely. The future of higher ed is being shaped right now, and we all have a part in making sure it's a future that's good for everybody.
This has been, like, really interesting. We've talked about the scary parts of AI, but also like the really cool potential it has in education. And I think, like, the biggest takeaway is that we have power.
Right.
Both individually and together, to shape how AI actually gets used on our campuses and everywhere else.
It's a wild time to be in education, that's for sure. And, while there are definitely challenges, I'm optimistic. I think if we work together, we can really use AI to make learning better, more equitable, more engaging, and just, like, more effective for everyone.
I like that. Harnessing the power of AI. It's not about, like, being afraid. It's about being, informed, being proactive, and working together to make sure tech actually helps our students, our colleagues, our institutions. Okay, so we talked about a lot, AI and jobs, shared governance, the union, all that. But, like, what about you? Like, right now, what can you actually do to, not just survive, but, like, really thrive in this whole AI world?
That's a great question. I think it really comes down to, like, a few things. And the first is remembering that AI is a tool, It's not out to get you. It's here to help you.
Yeah.
So, like, be curious about it. See what's out there. Like, what AI tools are already being used in your field? And, could they maybe make your work a little easier? Or more effective, maybe even more creative.
I like that. Like, AI is a tool. That kind of takes the scariness out of it, makes it seem more like, I don't know, something we can control.
Right. Exactly. And as you're, like, exploring all this, don't be afraid to, just try stuff, experiment a little, see what works, see what doesn't. And remember, you don't have to become, like, an AI whiz overnight.
Right.
Start small, learn as you go, and don't be afraid to, like, ask questions.
That sounds like you're saying that, like, lifelong learning is even more important now with AI changing things so fast.
Yeah, absolutely. And, That learning can look like a lot of different things. It could be like taking a course online about AI,
Right.
or going to one of those union workshops we were talking about, or even just like talking to your colleagues who are already using AI.
Right.
You know, pick their brains a little bit.
Okay, so be curious, experiment, keep learning. That's good advice for anything, really. But yeah, especially now with all this AI stuff happening.
For sure. And don't forget about, your community. Talk to your colleagues, share what you're learning, what's working, what's not. And your chapter chair, they're a great resource for this too.
Okay, so it sounds like the key is to approach AI with curiosity, not fear.
Hmm.
To see it as a chance to learn new things, to grow and to make what we do in higher ed even, I don't know, even more meaningful.
That's a great way to put it. AI is a powerful thing, but it's really up to us, the people in education, to decide how it gets used. And if we all work together, I think we can use it to make learning better for everyone, more equitable, more engaging, more effective.
That's a good note to end on. AI in education, it's a big topic, a little complicated, but it's a conversation we need to have. So stay informed, stay involved, and remember, your union is here to help.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed this.
And to you, our listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI in education. It's changing fast, but by staying informed, asking questions, working together, we can make sure AI is used to help our students, our colleagues, and the whole future of higher ed.